Hey guys, hi, welcome back once again. My name is Vaishali, and today I'd like to talk about the lessons learnt from the grief of the dead. The lessons learnt from the grieving of the dead, or the lessons learnt from the grieving of the dying. So, a few weeks back, I'd met somebody who had lost their mother, somebody who'd lost their wife, and I had gone to express my condolences. But the lessons that I came back with, I think, will stay with me for the rest of my life. And after a few minutes of conversation, the person in question asked me if I knew of a grieving counselor or even a therapist. And I had to tell them that I wasn't aware of any such grieving counselor. Though from my end, because I felt helpless, I of course did share the number of few counselors that I know of. But I also told them I wasn't sure if these were the people who were also grieving counselors, or counselors who helped people grieve their loss, grieve the experiences of their loss. It was also here that I happened to ask this person as to why she couldn't grieve with her family, with her father, who's also lost his wife. Because in my assumption, his loss was equally as big as hers. And her response to some degree shocked me, and to some degree it did not. She told me that her father had gotten busy with his usual life, and that he also wanted her to get busy with her life, to get busy with their routines, because somebody who had to pass away did pass away, but they had to live their lives. Which I also believe is somewhat of a cultural mindset wherein we expect people to move on without actually having to grieve the loss of their loved ones, to grieve the loss of the experiences and the life that they'll not get to share anymore. And she specifically told me that she wanted to take the time to grieve the loss of her mother, to mourn the death of her mother. And as she kept talking, she also said that I not only want to grieve the loss of my mother, but I also wanted to grieve the loss of the life that she never lived. It was here she mentioned that her mother had always lived the life that others expected from her, that she probably never even had an insight as to what her expectations were from her own self. What were her own expectations about the way she wanted to live her life? The kind of experiences that she might have wanted to have. And here is when she also added that I want to grieve a wasted life. A life that was not acknowledged within one's own self and was even somewhat unfulfilled and unrealized. And hearing that from a daughter really pained me. It made me question a few things. How many of us are living the lives that others expect us to live at the cost of our own expectations? How many of us are fulfilling others' expectations at the cost of feeling unfulfilled ourselves? How many of us would actually take the time to grieve and mourn the loss of somebody we've loved? Somebody we've cared for, somebody we've known, somebody we think we could have shared many more experiences with, but now will never get a chance to do so. And how many of us would try to engage ourselves to keep ourselves busy and distracted? Either we are not willing to experience that grief and to process that grief, or either because that person might not have been so important in our lives, so important in our shared experiences, that we are willing to just brush them aside. Let's once in a while reflect on that reality as well, which is going to happen to all of us at some point in time or the other. And probably reflecting on that reality might help us ascertain our own values for our own selves. Let's try and do that for ourselves, and I will see you once again the next week. Till then, stay tuned in. And guys, if you do like the contextual content of these videos, please do like, share, and subscribe.